Hey boys and girls, it's math time. All right, here's Miss Bowden's take 2 of our math video since I was in the middle of videotaping, and guess what happened? My phone shut off and I lost the entire video of our math lesson. So here's to round 2 of doing our math lesson together. Okay, last week we did a lot of money. And so I was super proud of a few students who sent me some videos of them doing money. One in particular sent me a video this weekend. And guess what she did? She took all of her coins and she bought little items around her. And she had to count up her coins to see how much it was and put it in that bucket. And then some of her other problems were to see how much money that entire bucket was worth. So she took all those coins out and she counted the coins like this. Miss Bowden was so impressed that I was so excited and happy that I have students that are counting money like this and being able to use everyday objects to help them count and learn how to do money. But it's not just because Miss Bowden's teaching. It's really because your parents are sitting there helping you guys learn and helping teach you these things. So I really want you guys to give your parents a big round of applause and give them a big old hug and tell them thank you so much, because they are being Miss Bowden while Miss Bowden can't be there with you guys. And they are doing a phenomenal job. They're doing excellent, amazing, because Miss Bowden is loving these videos and that you guys send me. And I love all the learning that you're doing. It just makes my heart so happy. Okay, but this week, we're gonna get into learning about different 2D shapes. And with those 2D shapes, we are going to also eventually learn about composite shapes, which are taking those 2D shapes and putting them together to make other shapes or other objects. And that's where it gets really fun, because then you're building stuff. So what I really want you to do is let's review 2D shapes today. First off, what is a 2D shape? It means that it is a shape that is flat. You can't hold it in your hands. It's just drawn on the paper and it is flat. So we've learned about a couple of 2D shapes, and I'm gonna add a few more 2D shapes to our mix. So the first 2D shape that I'm gonna start out with has got 4 sides, and it's got 4 angles, and everything's equal. It's all the same. Do you know what shape I'm talking about? Yeah, very good. A square. A square. Let Miss Bowden draw out her square. Okay, a square. A square has got 4 sides. It's got 4 corners, or as Miss Bowden likes to call them, angles. And the best thing about a square is that everything is the same size. They are all equal. So that's the biggest thing about a square. We've got 4 sides. We've got 4 angles, or as sometimes you call them, corners, and everything is equal. All sides and angles are equal. But there's something in particular about those angles that we've talked about. Can you think of that name that Miss Bowden already told you about those angles? I heard somebody say it. They form 90 degrees. Very good. They make perfect right angles, perfect squares. And that makes 90 degrees. Very good. They make perfect square angles, which we call them right angles, and they measure 90 degrees. So it's got 4 90-degree angles. Very good. Okay, our next shape is similar to a square. It's got 4 sides and 4 angles, but it's got 2 shorter sides and 2 longer sides. Can you think of that name? A rectangle. Very good. Let me write that and draw that down. A rectangle. Very good. Here's our rectangle. So a rectangle and square are very similar because they both have 4 sides. They both have 4 angles or 4 corners. But do rectangles have all the sides that are the same length? No, a rectangle's got 2 sides that are shorter and 2 sides that are longer. But think about those corners. Or rectangles, do they have those 90-degree corners? Think about that while Miss Bowden writes our facts in. It's got 4 sides and 4 angles, except 2 shorter sides and 2 longer sides. Sorry that my handwriting's getting a little messy. It's the second time we're doing this lesson. Okay, does the angles, are they right angles? Yes, they are. Good job. They make those perfect square angles. They have those right angles that equal 90 degrees. They have those right angles that equal 90 degrees. Do they have 4 just like a square? They sure do. So the biggest difference between a square and a rectangle is that a square, all the sides are the same size, whereas a rectangle, you have 2 shorter ones and 2 longer ones. It is basically a stretched out square. Yeah, good job. Okay, I've got my next shape. I'm gonna draw it out, and I want you to tell me what are its biggest features that make it a triangle. What makes a triangle a triangle? These are examples of triangles. Okay, yeah, it's 2D and it's flat, which are all the shapes we're talking about, but it's got 3 sides and 3 angles. Very good. 3 sides and 3 angles. That's what makes a triangle stand apart, because no matter what the triangle looks like, it's gonna have 3 sides and 3 angles. And when you get older, you're gonna learn about all kinds of triangles and all the different triangles that you're gonna be able to determine based off of their sides, their length, or their angles. All the different types. You've got obtuse, acute, scalene, isosceles, equilateral, equiangular. Yeah, you've heard me say equilateral, which means all of them are, all the sides are the same exact length. And equiangular means all the angles are the same. But you've got other triangles, such as the right triangle, or a scalene and obtuse, or acute, or an isosceles. So many different triangles you're going to learn about when you get older, but they all have 2 things in common. They all have 3 sides and 3 angles, and that's what makes a triangle a triangle. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you our next 2 shapes because they are very similar, but there's a difference between the 2. Definite difference between the 2. Okay. These shapes have no sides, no angles. One of them is kind of perfect, and the other one is stretched out. Can you think of one of the names? I heard it, a circle. Yeah, can you think of another one that's similar to a circle, but it's not, it's stretched out? I heard it, an oval. Very good. So we've got our circle and we've got our oval. Now the circle is perfectly round. No sides, no angles. It makes a perfect O. Our oval is a stretched out, it kind of looks like an egg. It's not perfect circle. It's definitely stretched out, and it's got a smaller at the top and in the bottom and wide in the middle, kind of like our egg. But it's basically just a circle stretched out, where it's still round. Both of them are round, and they both have no sides and no angles. Just the only difference is that the oval, I'm going to put underneath it, is a stretched out circle. Kind of similar to a square and a rectangle. Square is perfect, just like the circle, but the rectangle is stretched out square, whereas the oval is a stretched out circle. Okay, now let's get to some other shapes. Our next shape is going to be 4 sides, 4 angles, and it looks like a diamond. It's basically a square slanted. Miss Bowden's going to try to draw it as best as I can. drawn two different ways. It's called a rhombus. Yeah, a rhombus is basically a square that's slanted on its side, so it doesn't have those perfect angles. Or you can do it up and down where it makes it look like a diamond. So a rhombus has got 4 sides and 4 angles. And all those sides, just like a square, are equal. Are all equal. All the sides are equal. But the angles do not make those perfect 90 degrees. Nope. But a rhombus looks like a diamond. I'm going to put that on there. Looks like a diamond. That's how you're going to kind of recognize that rhombus. Okay. Our next shape has also got 4 sides and 4 angles. Goodness gracious, there are so many 4-sided, 4-shaped angles. Okay, let's see if I can draw it the best that I can. I drew it 2 different ways. This one's called a trapezoid. Let's all say that, trapezoid. A trapezoid's got 4 sides and 4 angles. But the way you can tell a trapezoid different from a rhombus is because a trapezoid has got 1 small line on top and 1 large line on the bottom, or it can be on the side. But these 2, the top and the bottom, you're always going to have 2 lines, a small line and a long line that run parallel to each other. Parallel means that they're never going to touch. So think of your streets. On one side of the street you live, and on the other side of the street is your neighbor. And your houses are never going to touch because that street, if you go down your street and you ride your bike, both sides never come together. They always go straight in a row. So if you were to hold your hands up in the air like this, they're never going to touch unless you put them together, which means they're not parallel anymore. You need to keep them out straight. And when they're out straight, that means that they're parallel. They're never going to touch. So a lot of roadways, interstates, they have parallel to each other. They're never going to cross. They're never going to touch. So a trapezoid, the little one and the long line that are straight are parallel. They're never going to touch. So you've got 4 sides and 4 angles, but it's got 1, small side that is parallel to 1 long side. And Miss Bowden's going to circle it so you can see 1 small side and 1 long side that's parallel to each other, and they're never going to touch. That's what makes a trapezoid a trapezoid. That one's a little tricky, but we're going to learn about trapezoids more when we do composite shapes. Here is our last shape we're going to go into. And this shape has got 6 sides and 6 angles. Can you think of that name? A hexagon. Very good, a hexagon. And look at this. I wrote the word 6 because it's got that X in it. And hexagon's got the X in it too. So it lets you know that it's got 6 sides and 6 angles. So all hexagons are going to have 6 sides and 6 angles. That's what's going to make a hexagon a hexagon. Hex, 6. They both have the X in it. 6 sides, 6 angles. Very good. Okay, so we've learned a lot and reviewed a lot of 2D shapes just now. So you're going to have a lot of practice to do with them this week. So we did a square and a rectangle, both 4 sides and 4 angles with right 90-degree corners, except a square, all the sides are equal, and a rectangle, 2 sides are small and 2 sides are long. All triangles have 3 sides and 3 angles. Our circle and our oval are both round with no sides and no angles, except the circle's perfect and the oval is stretched out. Our rhombus has got 4 sides and 4 angles, but it looks like a diamond or a square slanted, so it does not have those perfect corners. And a trapezoid is also 4 sides and 4 angles, except the small side and long side are parallel, which means they are never going to touch. And then your hexagon has got 6 sides and 6 angles. All right, so we're going to be reviewing that every day, but that we're doing these shapes. But for now, I want to show you your work you're going to do. Okay, so Miss Bowden gave you your math homework already on Friday because that was day 3, and I'm going to send it again because I want you to do day 4 of that homework page. Okay, that's today. And then here's a practice worksheet for our shapes. They have a side with pictures, so you need to cut out the words and glue the word that matches the picture. And then here's a side with words that you need to cut out the picture and actually glue the picture next to the word. And there's shapes that Miss Bowden just reviewed with you. That's our first review. Our next review is going to be a find and color. So it tells you at the top that all squares need to be blue. So find your squares and color them blue. Circles, orange, triangles, green, ovals, purple, rectangles, red, rhombus, yellow, hexagon, pink. So find your shapes and color them the specific color they ask you to. And you can always refer back to that video that Miss Bowden had sent to help you guys out with those shapes. Last, I'm going to give you a game to play. Here's your game board. It's got a ton of pictures on it. So many different shapes are in those pictures. Most of these are 3D real life objects, but we can pinpoint out those 2D shapes that are there. Yeah, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that picture and you are going to graph all of what you find. So however many squares you find, fill it in. Circles, rhombus, triangle, hexagon, square, trapezoid. Go ahead and find those shapes, and however many you count, like I see triangles in this sign. I see hexagon in these glasses. So go ahead, that would be 1 hexagon, so I'd go to the hexagon and color in the first box. I see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles automatically. So I would color in 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So you can mark them off or play it however you would like. And then it asks you to list 2 facts about that graph. So just tell me maybe which one had the most shapes, which one had the least shapes. It is completely up to you. And then Miss Bowden is gonna attach a YouTube video, which is a shape review game song, which is really fun and really cool to try to guess and play along with as extra practice for today. Okay, lots of shapes going on. I hope you guys enjoy your math today. Maybe go and look around your house and see what shapes you can find. Maybe do like a scavenger hunt with your shapes. That would be pretty cool. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day today. Don't forget, post your black and gold pictures of you and your saints are black and gold today. And post it with that hashtag Black and Gold Monday so the St. Tammany Parish can pick it up and put your picture on their website. We get to see all of our friends on there. Bye.